And Bonds hits one high. Hits it deep. It is out of here. 7:56. Bonds stands alone.
Now Booker with Tucker on him. Throws it up for 8. Shot blocked by Antetokounmpo. What a block from Giannis.
17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open, Chicago with the lead.
Minute remaining. And they're putting Curry in the pick and roll, trying to get him on Irving. Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good! Kyrie Irving from downtown!
We're sending it in, Jerome. That's for damn sure.
Yes, yes, yes. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Taproom Sports Podcast. I am your host, Jordan. Stacks on stacks on stacks lats. Joined with my guys, Mr. Big Ball and Ben Larson.
Yes, sir.
Swerving Irvin Washington. Ben missed the memo on the yellow hoodie.
I know. I don't even think I own a yellow hoodie. So, I got a yellow beard.
Hey, there we go. I guess so.
I'll take that.
I didn't even realize it till I switched over and I was like, holy shit, me and Irv are both wearing yellow hoodies. This is fucking weird. That was not planned or coordinated, but here we are. We good. Welcome, everybody. It's been a crazy weekend, the first weekend of March Madness. Obviously, the wildest weekend. We saw a 16 seed, the biggest upset in NCAA tournament history. Fairleigh Dickinson almost beat FAU tonight as well, almost continued the storied run. Princeton is in the Sweet 16. Gotta love them bookworms. But man, WBC has been fucking crazy. The U.S. versus Venezuela game was just electric with Trey Turner and the not walk-off, but the Grand Slam, which we're going to get into very shortly. Fellas, how we doing tonight?
Doing good.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I mean, you talked about the Venezuela game. You got the Cuba game today. You know, complete turnaround from that USA-Mexico game that we saw start the WBC, which, man, it makes me happy. I'm glad to see the U.S. team, even though it's full of a bunch of schmucks from other teams than my own, but
we'll get into it. We'll get into the WBC here shortly.
It's fun to watch, yeah.
We are being brought to you by Tavour. Make sure to go to Tavour.com or download the Tavour app straight to your mobile device and use promo code TAPROOM for $10 off your first purchase of $25 or more. That's craft beer delivered straight to your front door. You don't even have to leave your seat. With that being said, I got a nice beer. I got a couple nice beers. Ben, what are you sipping on right now?
Yeah, so my first beer of the night is it's one that I've never seen before. It's Cerveza Zalopez from the Zalopez Brewing Company. It's a Mexican style craft golden ale with mango, lemon peel, and of course natural flavors. I wish they didn't have to put natural flavors on the can, but it's 4.5% and it's from the most fucking Hispanic place that you could find in the United States. Fucking Salt Lake City, Utah. So it is kind of founded, and the brewer is Javier Sanchez. So you know, it does have those roots in that history, but
nice.
Yeah, out of Utah. Okay.
Hell yeah. I'm drinking a Coastal Ties Murky IPA from Pure Project. This is out of San Diego, California. Pure Project is kind of like, it's a collaboration with Mason Ale. I think it's like brewed out of Mason Ale. I've had a couple of their beers, but never had a murky IPA. I don't know what the fuck that is. I don't know if that's a hazy IPA, murky IPA. Who the fuck knows? But I'm gonna taste it. The first couple sips, very good so far. Very good.
Yeah, this beer is it's kind of mimicked after Agua Frescas, and I just took the first sip and definitely get that that fruity, juicy flavor to it.
Nice, love it, love it, love it, love it. But it is. Let's talk about the WBC since it is going on. We do have the second semifinal tomorrow: Japan versus Mexico. Ben, you kind of alluded to it earlier. You know, last Sunday we came on the show. We were in the midst of the U.S. Mexico game, and the U.S. was just getting boat raced by Mexico. It was just a terrible game. But
Somebody playing music?
who?
Yeah, we got music going.
Nah, no one can hear it yet. I don't know how you guys can hear it.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least
great
I
US
know
baseball.
I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died.
But the U.S. turned it around. I think that Mexico game really fucking woke them up.
Yeah.
They realized, like, yo, we can't just go out here and just, like, dick around and win baseball games. You know what I mean? And so that was awesome. But, you know, I've talked to Herb more about the WBC. Like, you know, the U.S. is big. All of us talked about this to begin with. The U.S.'s biggest weakness is starting pitching.
Yep.
So if they can just get through the starting pitching and get to the bullpen and have a lead, it's electric. I mean, yesterday we saw it last night. You know what I mean? Like, they were down. Trey Turner hits a grand slam. And then you have Devin Williams and Ryan Presley. And there's not many teams that are going to be able to hit those two. Those are two of the best closers in Major League Baseball.
Future Dodger.
Everyone's a future Dodger to you.
No, Williams probably is. When they trade Patrick Corbin to the Dodgers, we probably gonna get Williams.
Yeah, and then you're going to trade all your prospects for him.
No, Corbin's walking, so his price won't be that high.
All right. He's still got another year of under club control, so
I'm Nostradamus. I'm Nostradamus.
Everyone's a future Dodger to Irv. Just like everyone's a future Bronco to him in football.
Nah, just Shohei.
But you even said Judge was a future Dodger. We had that bet going.
Oh, he was until y'all offered him 10 years. Dodgers only offered him 8.
Yeah, and then the Yankees offered him the same amount of money, and he took less money and less years than San Diego offered him. But the biggest thing for the U.S., obviously, probably the best lineup, top to bottom. I mean, when you have Trey Turner hitting 9th, I mean, let's be real, darling. There's not many lineups that can match that. Pitching is always going to be an issue, but if they can put up runs like they did today, you put up 14 runs, there's nobody going to be able to beat this team.
But maybe I'm gonna be honest, our pitchers, our U.S. pitchers, got to stop being some HOE. You know, the garden tool.
What do you mean, like the guys that didn't join the team?
Yeah, the guys that didn't join the team, because there's no way every other top pitcher in all these other countries are pitching and playing in WBC, and all our top guys turned it down. If the defending Cy Young winner is in the WBC, Shane McClanahan, Dylan C., Spencer Strider, Max Fried, even the Chris Bass.
Uh-oh.
I think we lost him.
We might have lost him. But I do agree to his point. It's funny because Irv and I were talking about this last night, and I was saying, like, you know, I would have liked to just have 3 of those guys. You know what I mean? Like, just give me 3 of those guys and we'll be good. Which brings up an interesting point, because we have seen a lot of dialogue around, you know, the WBC being meaningless, quote unquote, meaningless games and exhibition games, and guys are getting hurt. Edwin Diaz obviously goes down. The Mets lose him for a year. And then, you know, the next day, Altuve gets hit in the wrist. Supposedly he has a broken thumb. He's probably going to miss some time too.
Had surgery today.
Oh, he did have surgery today.
Yep.
So, you know, there's a lot of talk where it's like, well, should these guys be playing these games? What's your guys' thoughts on the WBC and people saying that it's quote unquote meaningless or exhibition?
I mean, I can see how it's exhibition. It's in the beginning of the season. It's with a lot of these guys who aren't playing up to the potential, at least, you know, through the MLB. But, you know, regarding the injuries, you gotta look at what's happened in spring training right now too. I mean, you have one of the, you know, better second basemen in the league go down with a knee injury in spring training from just running.
Center fielder.
What's that?
Center fielder.
Oh, he's not playing second this year? Gavin Lux?
You're thinking of... Oh, you're talking about Gavin Lux. Yeah, Gavin Lux got hurt, but Brandon Nimmo too.
Oh, Brandon Nimmo, yeah. Like it's just like these are injuries that are going to happen whether you're at the WBC or whether you're at spring training. So it doesn't matter, if you're in one place or another. There's going to be that issue of, of injuries happening, and it's a professional sport with guys who are we lost them, with guys who are in their 30s, but some of them late 20s, late 30s. They're gonna have injuries, and it's inevitable. You're playing at a high level. It doesn't matter if you're at one or the other.
Yeah, and I agree. Um, oh, here he comes back.
There we go.
Hold on, do we got? There we go. We got Irv back. No, I agree with you, Ben. And for people to say like these are meaningless games, like in my opinion, and this is my opinion personally, like there's no right or wrong answer to this, but the WBC has higher ratings than the World Series last year.
Oh, I mean, they had in Japan, they had higher ratings than our Super Bowl did.
Yeah, so in Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Cuba, like dude, these countries are watching this like it's their Super Bowl.
And it's a lot of the time. Yeah, absolutely. And it's a lot of the time. It's like these are the first times that some of these guys are playing for their country,
Yep.
and putting on that, that flag and representing the, place that they were born or the roots that they have. So in my eyes, these are more important than, your normal spring training games.
Absolutely.
Even your normal regular season games, minus a few when you're, in a division hunt or, playoff race. But like these games, you saw it in Japan where they were passing around the Shohei Ohtani ball.
Yep.
Like people just wanted to take a picture with that home run ball.
Yeah.
And that probably was going to be one of the highlights of their, baseball
Lives.
fandom. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. And, after Mexico beat the U.S., I tweeted to Mark DeRosa, who's the U.S. manager, and I said, y'all need to go back to the hotel and watch the Redeem Team documentary. And the reason why I said that, and I don't think he read it. I mean, maybe he read it. He obviously didn't respond to it. Yep. But the reason why I said that was because the Redeem Team, there's a lot of behind the scenes footage and stuff. And, Coach K gets the guys around, the best players in the world. And he's like, hey, like, this isn't about you. This is about representing your country and the people in this country. You know what I mean? And I felt that for the U.S. And, like, I've always been an advocate. Like, if I was a professional athlete and I had the opportunity to represent my country, like, that's the least I could do. Yep. You know what I mean? And, like, you're telling me, especially for baseball and basketball, like, those are baseball and basketball, U.S. dominates both of them, right? So for me to get picked as a player to represent that country in that sport, that is huge. That means a lot.
Well, and look, it was who was it? It was Mookie and was it Freddie that were interviewed this yesterday or the day before, and that they were saying that this is the best time that they've ever had. Having this tournament is an extension of the All-Star game, because you actually have, you're playing with the best of the best.
Yeah, and you get to hang out with them and spend time with them
and learn from them.
Yeah, like the U.S. team, dude, the hitting coach is Ken Griffey Jr., your pitching coach is Andy Pettitte. I mean, you got Hall of Famers just littered.
You got Dave Rigetti in there as well.
Yeah, he's their bullpen coach. I mean, you got Hall of Famers just littered in there, dude. And it's like Jerry Manuel's an assistant coach. It's like, this is an opportunity for these guys not only to, like, hang out with the other best players, but I mean, you get to hang out with legends.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So for people to sit there and say this is meaningless and shit like that, like, bro, so playing for a billionaire means something to you, 162 games, but playing for your country don't mean shit. Like, I'm sorry, bro. Like, I can't get behind that. Just doesn't make any sense to me. The WBC has been fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And I don't see how anyone could sit here and hate on this tournament unless they're not watching it.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And the joy that these guys are getting, with players that they've never even played for or with before, is just awesome.
I mean, look at Mike Trout, Ben. He's finally winning ball games, and he looks like he's having the best time of his life.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't have a great game today, but he finally,
But he's
you know,
winning.
finally, yeah, he's winning. You guys like that fake meme that I sent over?
Yeah.
Yeah, it just bums me out that after this, I have to play 162 meaningless games with the Angels. You know,
Shit.
obviously, he didn't say that, but
Shohei probably feels the same way.
Yep, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, this is
He gonna be in Dodger blue next year.
and Mike Trout too. Mike Trout, Otani, Mookie Betts. Who else y'all getting, dude?
Oh no, Mike Trout is gonna retire with the
Soto's going over there.
The only way I ever see him leaving the Angels if he say I want to get traded and they trade him to the Phillies.
The Phillies. Oh, because that's where he's from.
Yeah, that's the only team he would probably play for besides the Angels.
Well, technically he's from New Jersey, but
I know, but he grew up in Philly.
Well, New Jersey's like a hop, skip, and a jump from Philly.
Nobody wants to play for the Mets. I mean, fuck, their team's just getting hurt, so they don't have to play for the Mets.
Nah, we knew this. I mean, the Mets are getting old, man. They're an older team, so
I mean, I wouldn't have saw this, Brandon Nemo injury. I wouldn't have guessed that, but
yeah, it's a
you
freak
catch
injury.
a spike on a slide, and it's that's a huge knee injury. There's Edwin Diaz. I mean, another just fluke injury where you're celebrating and you tore your knee up. It's two guys who are going to probably be out the whole season because of torn ligaments.
Did they announce what Nemo's injury officially is?
No, they haven't.
Okay, because I don't know if he was like, I don't know if that's a year-ending injury. I don't know. It didn't look good, but yeah. I didn't see any updates on it. All right, Japan.
The way he got up and walked off, that looked. It says Mets get good news on his injury.
So it's like just probably swollen or something.
Yeah, it might have been a strain and not a tear or something.
Irv, do we have a line out for Japan Mexico tomorrow?
Yep.
What is it?
Logan sprain is in his knee and ankle.
It is on the run line. Minus 2.5 is 110 for Japan. The money line is 240. The over under is 8.5. Mexico plus 2.5 is 110.
Who's pitching for Mexico?
195. Huh?
Who's pitching for Mexico?
Let me see if they got that out yet. I think it's gonna be. Is it gonna be Sandoval?
Oh yeah, that's right. Sandoval's pitching for Mexico, and then that one kid's pitching for Japan. That dude is a stud. That's gonna be available.
Yeah, he's gonna be. He's a future ace. He's probably gonna play for the Mariners though.
No, he's not. What's it? What's his name? Do you have it? Do you have it in front of you or not?
I'm a butcher it, but
because I heard that if Japan wins the game, then Darvish is going to start against the A's. It's not going to be not against the A's, against the U.S. team. It's not going to be Shohei.
Yep, it's not going to be Shohei
because apparently because he's starting opening day, and opening day is a week after that, he's basically shut down from pitching for the rest of the WBC. He's only doing bullpen work.
I take Mexico at minus 2.5 here. Or sorry, Japan at minus 2.5 here. Their pitching has just been outstanding from top to bottom.
Yeah, I'd honestly probably look at the under. What's the over under? 7.5?
8.5.
8.5? Oh, I like that under.
8.5.
Yeah, I like that under 8.5.
Nah, I might go over. Japan backs might go off.
Yeah, but Japan also is like a very left-handed oriented lineup.
That's true.
Like they got 7 lefties in that lineup.
I like Japan on the run line. I think the final score will be like 7-3.
Nah, I think it's gonna be like
5-2.
5-2 or 5-1. I mean, Mexico might not even score, to be honest. But I said the same thing about China, and China put up a run against Japan. So who knows?
Damn, they don't got his name. His name I ain't posted yet, but I could look it up. I know who it is. It's he pitched right after Shohei. So
yeah, and he's
Maki. Or sorry, no, not Maki.
His idol's Darvish.
Roki.
Yeah, I think that he's going to be posted
Sasaki.
next year. He's going to be in the majors next year.
Yeah, Roki Sasaki.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's hella good.
He got 4 pretty elite pitches, and he got 100 mile an hour. He basically like Shohei, but he don't hit because he got the 100 mile an hour fastball. He got that killer ass splitter, and I think he throw a slider or a changeup, a slider and a changeup. It's one of those two. Or
All those
curveball.
Japanese pitchers got fucking crazy movement, dude, on
Yeah.
their pitches. Like none of those guys throw just a straight fastball. None of them.
Well,
Dude.
it's crazy to see. So you got Sasaki, who's gone 3.2 innings with 3 2/3 with no earned runs. You've got Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who's gone 4 innings, no earned.
Yeah, bro,
You've
they
got
got the best
Shohei.
pitching staff in the WBC, man. It's not even close.
Oh yeah, and both of those
Damn,
guys have
check
8
this stat
strikeouts
out
in
for
3.5 innings.
Roki Sasaki last year. He threw 17 consecutive perfect innings, retiring 52 batters in the process, and struck out 19 batters in a perfect game. The
Yeah,
first perfect game in Japan's top professional league since '94.
the one thing you do have to keep into consideration when looking at the Japanese league numbers is they throw a smaller baseball, so it's easier to grip, which is why they have like a ton of movement. Which is why a lot of times when you see Japanese pitchers go from Japan to the majors, they tend to struggle right away because they're not used to throwing a bigger baseball. So obviously they don't get the same movement that they get. Now, obviously, there's a lot of guys that do transition pretty well. Yu Darvish, Shohei Ohtani. But if you look at it on the large scale, what was that one dude's name that went to the Red Sox? Starts with an M.
Yeah, Daisuke
Matsusaka. Like he could never really he was dominant in Japan, never was really as dominant in the States. So that's one thing to keep in mind. In the WBC, they're throwing a Major League Baseball, so it's a bigger baseball.
Yeah.
And, Mexico, they have a good starting pitching staff. Patrick Sandoval is nice. It is a good thing for Mexico that he's a lefty because he's going against a lot of left-handed hitters, and he does have good lefty splits. So with that, I would honestly take the under. I'd lean taking Mexico plus the runs, but again, I don't know if they'll score, dude.
Yeah.
So I think the under is like the safest bet here.
Yeah, this really doesn't surprise me too that you see Japan, US, likely Japan, US in the finals there.
That was the finals last time too.
Yeah.
And I think our lineup is better than last WBC.
Agreed. I think it's just more rounded, and our offense is incredible. We win every single inning.
Shit, Lakers up by 4 with 30 seconds left. Don't blow it again.
My only issue with the U.S. roster been is starting pitching because last year at least last time they had Marcus Stroman, who would probably be their number one starter this time around too. Wainwright got into a lot of trouble today. He had 3 infield singles, bases loaded, no outs. He ended up getting out of the inning and only giving up 1 run, which I think was massive and probably cost Cuba the game. Because that was a huge momentum builder.
Shout out to that under in XFL. Gotta love it.
Did it hit?
It's 12-10 with 19 seconds left. I told you it was never in doubt.
Well, bro, it was 10-6 with like half of the second quarter to play. They haven't scored since, dude. Anyways, so you guys like Japan minus the runs on the run line. I like the under. We might get to that.
Even take a money line, honestly.
Yeah, minus 240 is not bad.
That's not great value though.
I don't think it's bad value because I think Japan is definitely a much better team.
Well, you're taking minus 240. That means you put down 100. You're only going to be coming out with
$24.
Yeah,
I think that's
$30.
Pretty solid value. Did you hear the story of Steve Fezzik this weekend, Ben?
No.
All right, I should tell this story. So Steve Fezzik is one of the best sports bettors in the world. He's lives here in Vegas.
Is he the one who puts $100 down on every under?
No.
Oh, okay. Because that guy's fucking rich, this March Madness.
on the full game unders, but the trend is first half unders, which wasn't that great. But Steve Fezzik, so what he did was he tweeted out, "I'm gonna lay minus 4,500 on Purdue money line, $45,000 to win 1,000." Purdue lost to Fairleigh Dickinson.
Yeah.
Bro lost 45 racks
to win 100
and
or to win 1,000.
Yeah, but if you think about it, it's like you said, minus 4,500 is a 97% chance of winning, right? Yeah. If you look at the data, Fairleigh Dickinson's the shortest team in college basketball. Purdue is the tallest team. Obviously, they have Zach Edey. I mean, Purdue should not have lost that game. That was terrible.
Yeah.
But just a terrible beat. So my point is that laying big numbers doesn't mean it's bad value. Just because it's minus 240 doesn't mean it's bad value. Like, if you have a strong conviction that Japan is a better team than Mexico, and you're like, I know Japan is going to win this game. Because minus 240 is only telling you that, Japan's only going to win this game, 36% of the time based on the VIG. So if you think that Japan's that much better, then laying 240 is not a bad bet.
No, it's more than 36% of the time. Because if it was 50% of the time, then it would be
minus 5,000 to 100%. So if minus 5,000 to 100%.
But if you're sitting at 50%, then it would be at a push. It would be a pick 'em.
No.
It would be 100, 100 and minus 100.
No. I'm telling you. So if a game, the VIG on it, minus 4,500, minus 5,000 is telling you that team is 100% chance based on math going to win.
Mm-hmm.
So minus 25 is 50%. Minus 2.
No.
Minus 2.
It's a different ratio there. Because
either
at
way,
50%, that's even money.
Either way,
plus 100 minus 100.
Minus 240, in my opinion, that's not terrible value on Japan.
That's looking like 55% of the time.
Because I think Japan's a much better team than Mexico. Outside of, Mexico doesn't have one. If you look at a team starting pitching, hitting, bullpen, I mean, what edge are you giving Mexico in that game? None. They don't have a single edge on Japan. So I think minus 240 is actually decent value.
Yeah.
Now I'm not running out to go lane minus 240, but I'm telling, I don't think it's terrible value. Like, if you have $240 to throw away for 100, I think it's cool. Because you have to be willing to risk that 240. So, oh,
absolutely.
You don't want to lose that 240. You know what I mean? I don't think it's terrible value. All right, we'll round back to the WBC probably for our best bets.
Should we take a quick break and get some new beers?
Damn, you finish your beer? I still have half my beer.
Yeah, well, mine's only a 12-ounce can, so.
Go grab your beer. Me and Irv will we'll start NFL and you'll round it back and do it real quick.
Yeah, I'm about to go grab me a 211. I'll be back.
There we go. Let's take a quick break.
No, he ain't grabbing no Steel Reserve, dude. You think he's really grabbing a Steel Reserve?
Oh, motherfucking Stanford lost today. Wow. Stanford just lost.
Damn.
For women's hoops?
Yep.
No fucking way. Who did they lose to?
Ole Miss, number 8.
Wow.
54-49.
That's a massive upset.
Yep. Huge. Absolutely huge. All right, I'm going to go get a beer.
All right. All right, Irv. Let's hop into some NFL updates. So first one, let's talk about Brandon Cooks gets traded today from Houston to Dallas, only for a 5th-round pick, which tells me a lot, to be honest.
That means that they didn't. It means two things. Both can be true. He didn't want to be in Houston no more, and Houston didn't want him in Houston no more.
But only a 5th-round pick? That tells me that he doesn't have much market value.
Yeah, he probably didn't. But he probably wanted to play for a contender too.
He doesn't have a no trade clause though.
I know, but I think the Texans did him a solid and sent him to a contender, and he didn't have to move halfway across the country or to a different state. And Dallas needs a number 2 wideout, a person that can take the top off the defense, and Cooks provides that for them. So it's an instant upgrade for them and more draft capital for Houston. The team with plenty of holes. They hired a
They
pretty
got a
damn good
5th round
coach. I
pick,
think
dog. That ain't shit.
no 5th round picks can come in handy.
They might as well just cut
Tyreek
him.
Woolen, Tyreek Woolen was what, a 5th, 6th round pick?
Yeah, but I mean, it's like it's
And
rare
he
that
finished second for the defensive rookie of the year.
my point is
of course
that I know the Texans shopped him around. It's not like they were just like, oh, you want to go to Dallas? Okay, here you go. We're gonna trade you for a 5th round
Nah,
pick.
I'm pretty sure they did shop him around, and probably the best they could get was a 5th rounder. But you got to factor in his salary too.
Yeah,
He's not making some change. Ain't he making like 9-10 million a year?
but that tells me that his market value is basically fucking in the toilet.
But that's fine. Well, he's been on the Texans. Who market value wouldn't be at the toilet playing for the Texans?
I mean,
Davis Mills probably about to get cut and walk for free.
yeah, but Davis Mills has never been a fucking a Pro Bowl quarterback. Brandon Cooks
Well,
at one
that's what
time
happens when
was
you-
looked at as one of the best wide receivers in football.
Yeah, he was with a functional offense, a pretty decent quarterback, and a good O line. He has none of that in Houston, so he's not going to look like the same player. I don't mean he's less of a player. Shit, everybody thought Odell was washed till he went to the damn Rams and helped carry them to a damn Super Bowl.
True, but you know, Brandon Cooks 29 years old. He's gonna be 30 this year. He's definitely hitting up.
It don't look like he lost a step. If you go turn on his tape, he still looks like Brandon Cooks.
Yeah. I don't know, bro. When you get traded for a 5th round pick, dude, that speaks volumes to me.
The Lakers win, cover the 6. Well, you said McCaffrey got traded for a 3rd rounder, right? You said he was washed. Look what he did.
Yeah, I did think he was washed, but I mean, getting traded for a 3rd round pick, like that's good value still. You know what I mean? That's better than a 5th round pick.
McCaffrey.
I mean, they didn't win a Super Bowl. You know
That's
what I
true.
mean? So
Yeah, and his injury prone issues were definitely thrown in there.
yeah, and his those injury prone issues ain't going away. Like I agree with Irv in the sense that like if Brandon Cooks rounds out the form, I mean it's a huge get for the Cowboys, especially for a 5th round pick. But I'm not going out here being like, oh man, the Cowboys got a fucking Brandon Cooks 5th round pick. We didn't give up nothing. Oh man, our offense, he's gonna take the top off. Like, nah, dude. Like the fact that he only got traded for a 5th round pick tells me a lot, dude. That tells me the rest of the NFL doesn't think shit about him.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with you on that.
You know what I mean? Because you're telling me there's no other teams that were willing to give a 4th? That speaks volumes.
Yeah. My big question is Houston is, I mean, he does have a high salary, but Houston is going out and getting a big QB with this number 2 overall pick, and you're trading away your wide receivers.
Yeah, but I mean, they're going to get...
You'd hope that you're going to get Mechie back, but even then, like, Cook's is a good option for a growing quarterback to...
Yeah, but he was also a distraction in the locker room last year.
Okay.
So it's like you don't want that guy fucking shitting on your new quarterback where it's like you don't want him bringing him down and stuff. I think that's part of why his value kind of went down was because his locker room issues last year were very public, right?
Yeah. And you do bring in Robert Woods, which I guess can be the replacement for him. Yeah, in that number 1.
Yeah, Robert Woods, USC legend, bro.
Yeah.
And they're gonna draft guys too. I mean, they have a lot of draft capital this year, and who knows, dude? They may end up trading that 2nd pick for even more draft capital. Who knows?
You're gonna go with you're gonna stick with Mills and have Case Keenum be your backup.
Well, I don't think Mills is a bad quarterback.
I just don't think he's a number 1. I think he's a good backup. He's always going to be a good backup.
I think it's hard to. I think honestly, it's hard to evaluate him from these Texans years because they've been so dog shit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And supposedly they're going to trade Laramie Tunsil too, which gives you a ton of draft capital. But it's like, why trade one of the best left tackles when you had a new quarterback coming in?
Yeah.
Throw him behind a fucking dog shit line. I don't know.
Or are they going to tank and go for Caleb next year?
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's such a unknown commodity here where it's like you have 2 quarterbacks coming in next year's draft who are better than any quarterbacks in this draft. Period. Irv would agree with that. I think most people that watch college football would agree with me on that. So it's like I can go for the best player. Like if I'm the Texans, I sit at 2, I draft Willie Anderson Jr. Right? And then next year I'm still dog shit. Or Davis Mills plays out of his mind and he's our quarterback of the future. Who knows? But if he's not, then I can draft Caleb or Drake May. I think it's like you have to evaluate your team overall. You know what I mean? Like, because no, even if the Texans draft Bryce Young this year, like they're not going to be a good team this year.
Yeah,
they're still 1, 2 years off, 3 years off. So who makes them better 5 years from now? Caleb Williams, Drake May, or Bryce Young?
I can't answer that.
It all depends on what they value. They're not going to draft Bryce Young and then be dog shit and draft Caleb Williams next year.
But that's my point. That's my point. So if you know you draft Bryce Young this year, but you know you're not going to be good, then why not just take the best player available and not be good next year and have the opportunity of drafting a better quarterback next year?
That you can't.
Because you don't know if you're going to be the shittiest team.
You don't know what you're getting out of Bryce Young, and if you base his whole career off his rookie year, then the Texas GM should be fired for even drafting him in the first place. If that's the case,
I'm not talking about drafting Bryce Young, though. I'm saying, Irv, I'm saying.
Then who would they be drafting?
Well, I'm saying draft Will Anderson, the best player available.
And then wait till next year to get your QB.
Yeah, then wait till next year.
Well, they could do that too, but they really high on 2 QBs. They high on CJ and they high on Bryce. So whichever one goes number 1, I'm pretty sure the Texans are gonna be waiting there at number 2 to draft him.
Yeah, but and you can't guarantee that next year you're going to be at a spot where you can get that number 1 or number 2 overall pick.
No, I mean you're not.
But also, you can't guarantee that Caleb Williams is going to the draft. He does have another year of eligibility. Right. He is making between.
If you think Caleb is gonna, if you think Caleb's gonna stay his senior year in college, I got some beautiful beachfront property in Kansas for you, dude.
I'm just saying. He the one said he ain't. This came straight out his mouth. He said he ain't thinking about the NFL. So.
Yeah,
he said he'll cross that bridge when he goes. But
he's not thinking about that because he's got a season to prepare for it.
If he feels like he could go play another year at USC, bro, his rookie contract, the money he'll make his rookie year ain't gonna be too far off his NIL deals he's getting at USC right now.
No, I mean that's true. That's a fair point.
Yeah, but that's one more year closer to getting that second deal.
Yeah, but he's also
a quarterback, so unless he has just a career-ending injury, he's going to make it to that second
look
contract.
At our quarterbacks that we've had. There have been some career-ending injuries.
The only reason why I wouldn't do it is because I've seen this story before with Matt Leinart, where Matt Leinart could have come out after his junior year. He won the national title, won the Heisman Trophy, and he would have been the number 1 overall pick, hands down. And he decided to stay in college and got drafted 7th overall to the fucking dog shit Cardinals. And,
And if he would have went number 1 the year before, who would he would have went to?
Who was the number 1? Was it the Raiders?
He would have went to the damn Texans. And his
Raiders.
No, was it the Texans?
He would have went to the Texans.
No, was it the second? No, that was the year Alex Smith was drafted, Irv. He would have went to the Niners, who were dog shit at the time, by the way.
2005.
Yep, that was Alex Smith.
Back to USC, right?
That was Alex Smith.
So it would have been 2004. The Niners was in shambles back then. So wait, no, 2004 NFL draft.
No, he would have been drafted 2005. He went in the 2006 draft.
Eli Manning went number 1 to the Chargers in 2004.
Yeah, 2005 is when he could have come out, but he decided to stay in college. He would have been the number 1 overall pick.
No, he could have went out in 2000. No, he could have went out in 2004 too.
No,
remember he came back for his 5th year.
No, he didn't. 2004. You're thinking of the 04-05 season. He would have been drafted in 05. That was his junior year. He was a fourth-year senior. He wasn't a... Yes, he was, dude. Look it up. Telling you right now. That was the year he won the Heisman Trophy, and they beat Oklahoma in the national championship, 2005. And then in 06, they lost to Texas in the Rose Bowl. Anyways.
His sophomore year was 2003.
Yeah.
His junior year was
2004, and they beat Oklahoma in the Orange Bowl in 2005.
Yeah, he could have left after 2004. He came back in 2005.
No. Yeah, he came back in 05, and that season ended in 2006. The Rose Bowl was 2006.
Yeah, 2000.
That's when he got drafted. He got drafted in 06, dog. He got drafted in 06.
He could have left a year before.
Yeah, that would have been 05. He would have.
No,
yes, it would have, dude. The season was 2004, and the end of the season is 2005. He would have been drafted in 2005. That was the same year Alex Smith got drafted by the San Francisco 49ers. He won the Heisman Trophy in 2004, which was December 2004. The Orange Bowl was January 2005. He would have been drafted in March 2005 or April or whenever the fuck the draft was that year. So he came back to school for his 2005 season, and the Rose Bowl was 2006, and he got drafted in 2006.
Yeah, either way, it played out. It played out just fine for him.
You could say that. He also lost a lot of money, though, not being drafted number 1 overall.
Well, it wasn't a rookie wage scale back then, so he pretty much would have got paid
a lot.
Number 1 money for even if he went number 7, because you gotta remember, Reggie Bush went number 2, and he got paid more than what's the name?
Mario Williams. Yeah, that's why the Texans didn't take Reggie Bush. Yep.
He would have been a San Francisco 49er.
I would have had to been a Niner fan, dog. That shit would have been nasty.
Nah, I wouldn't have been a Niner fan. I would have kept being a Bronco fan. Damn, this draft was horrible.
Yeah, there's a lot of drafts you look back on and you're like, dude, what the fuck?
Nah, this one was pretty bad. Out of the first 10 picks, only 2 actually had a good career.
Who?
Antrell Roll and Carlos Rogers had a semi-good career, but Alex Smith...
Carlos Rogers, he only had like 1 good year.
The first 5 picks was all bust. Well, Cedric Benson, would you consider him a bust? Maybe.
He was good for a couple of years.
But Alex Smith, Ronnie Brown, Braylon Edwards, Cedric Benson, Cadillac Williams. Well,
Braylon Edwards was nice for a couple of years too.
Damn, Troy Williamson was a complete bust for the Vikings. Damn.
It's a lot of it's crazy looking back on drafts, dude.
Broncos took what's the name first round? Aaron Rodgers was picked 24. Sheesh. The Raiders could have drafted Aaron Rodgers. They drafted Fabian Washington.
That's crazy.
And so who do you guys like as winners and losers so far of the free agency?
Free agency?
Yeah.
Well, the losers are definitely the Raiders.
Why?
Can't disagree with that.
I would consider the Cowboys a loser too. Besides getting Stephon Gilmore, they didn't do much.
And they're losing fucking Zeke for nothing.
Yeah, but Zeke is washed though.
Oh, absolutely. But they should have been able to at least get a 5th or a 6th for Zeke.
Let's see. The Eagles, because shit, even though
yes,
the Eagles
100%.
are a loser because they just lost so much production.
Yep.
They pretty much gonna lose their whole secondary outside of they bringing back Bradbury and Slade, but they lost both their starting safeties.
Yeah,
but one of the starting safeties they said it was easily replaceable. But they're gonna really miss Gardner Johnson.
They're gonna miss Gardner Johnson. They're gonna miss Miles Sanders too, and replacing Miles Sanders with Rashad Penny is not.
That's not a
No.
good replacement if you ask me.
I think Mariota is a better backup QB for them than Minshew.
Ooh, Zaga pulled it out, baby, and that overhit.
No, they did not pull it out because TCU hit a 3 with less than fucking 1 second on the clock.
But Gonzaga had 82.
Yeah, the total hit, but they didn't hit the fucking spread.
Oh, I was just talking about the over and then winning the game.
Oh yeah.
Pack TCU ass up.
TCU just hit a fucking three with 0.7 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, that's some bullshit.
That is insane, dude. Anybody that had Gonzaga minus 4.5,
My condolences.
my condolences, dude. That is probably the worst beat I've ever seen in my entire life.
Besides the Alabama 23.5, a dude had like 30 racks on them to win the first game by 23.5. They was up by 24. Dudes hit, I mean, he hit the most meaningless 3-pointer I ever seen in my life in that 16 seed cover.
That is dude, that was insane, dude.
That's crazy.
Bro,
TCU
0.7 seconds and TCU rolled the ball and like nobody from Gonzaga even cared. And it literally rolled to the 3-point line. Dude picked it up 0.7 seconds and shot it.
Jordan, who do you have as a loser?
the Packers.
Yep, that was gonna be my next one. The Packers lost a lot, and they didn't gain anybody there.
But according to Jordan, Kevin Love, what's his
I think
name?
Jordan
Kevin
Love's
Love?
gonna be.
Jordan Love.
I think he's gonna be a baller, dude.
Kevin Love, Jordan Love.
Yeah, but he's losing all of his offense.
No, he's still got Christian Watson.
Yeah, Christian Watson gonna be a dog.
Yeah,
I
you still have
think he'll be.
Dylan and
I think he'll be fine.
Is Bakhtiari gonna stay healthy?
I mean, they could still draft. He hasn't played in like 2 years anyway, so it's like they're used to playing without him.
Man, it's crazy. FDU and FAU and TCU and Gonzaga under had like an 80% chance of hitting at halftime. Both teams score over 90 points in the second half.
Yeah,
and both games go over.
Irv, do you guys like your biggest signing in the offseason?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, our biggest signing was my boy.
Nope.
Little Jordan Humphrey, the wide receiver, biggest signing of the offseason.
Nope.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Mike McGlinchey.
I don't.
5 years, $87.5 million.
I don't speak of that name around here. But well, it's not a bad deal because actually after the first 2 years we could just cut him and won't have much dead cap. It's a front loaded contract. So
said after the first 3 years, the dude's like, how old has he been? 29, 28?
He
is like 26, 27?
28.
No, that's not bad. He'll be 31, be back on the open market. Hopefully he performs well.
Nah.
He ain't gonna.
I think it's my personal thing is like I think it's hard to dictate like who wins and loses the offseason because usually the teams that quote unquote win the offseason end up losing in the regular season.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily mean winning the offseason because we haven't had the draft yet. I think that's going to be a huge aspect of this, but more so free agency.
Yeah, free agency is just filling your holes with veterans instead of depending.
But teams that sign like a lot of free agents tend to not do well the next year.
Yeah. No, you can't say that. It just depends on who you sign and what
the holes you fill. Yeah. Because like a lot of people are like high on what the Giants are doing. Like the Giants traded a 3rd-round pick for Darren Waller. They re-signed Sterling Shepard. But it's like at the end of the day, it's like, bro, Darren Waller's only played 17 games in 2 years. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like you can't rely on that guy to play. And the Giants won the second most one possession games in the NFL last year. Their defense was fucking atrocious. They're gonna have to play a much better schedule this year. Like, so there's obviously gonna be some regression there. Like, I think honestly they wasted a 3rd-round pick. Like, you probably could have gotten someone at much lesser value. Like Darren Waller's $11.5 million for a guy you can't even count on to play a full season.
Yeah.
Like,
when you could have gone out there and got a Mike Gesicki. a little prior to that. Not as good as Waller, not as much size, but he's only costing you $9 million.
He's also available more. Rather get a guy that's more.
They could have. There's some tight ends in this draft. Boy.
Hayden Hurst.
That's what I'm saying, dude. There's hella good tight ends in this draft, bro. They could have gotten someone in the third
end draft class like 8-10 deep with pretty damn good NFL talent.
And also, like, bro, if I'm the Giants, I would have thought about taking Meyer first round. Because that's a dude he's a dude, bro. Like, he's a guy that's going to affect defenses. Like, they're going to have to adjust coverages to him. He's that good.
And Brock Bowers even went back to school, too. That's crazy.
So
he had to. Irv, he's only a sophomore.
Oh, sorry.
He had to. He's only a sophomore.
Oh, I thought he was a junior.
He's the biggest sophomore you've ever seen in your life, though.
Nah, Washington bigger than him.
Yeah, Washington is bigger than him. Washington got to stay healthy, though.
Yeah.
So I got two teams that are kind of question marks to me, and kind of wanted to get your opinion. And I know a lot of it has to do with QB play, which is really up in the air for both these teams. So you got the New England Patriots, who went out and got Juju. They went out and got James Robinson, and they got Mike Gesicki. Is that going to be enough to push this offense forward with either QB, Mac, or Bailey?
No, because
I think so.
This is the same New England Patriots that went out and signed a bunch of draft picks a couple of years ago, and they didn't do shit. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't just rely on free agency, dude. They went out and they signed Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry, and who's the dude on the defensive line? Irv, the D end. Matt Judon. Like,
he actually balled out this year, though. He was pretty good.
Yeah, he played good this year. But my point is that you can't just go out and sign guys and expect them.
Yeah, but I just think them having a real offensive coordinator is going to
that is definitely going to help for sure.
That's going to help Mac Jones. He's going to have some coach that actually has confidence in him, that knows what he's doing, that can actually.
Bailey Zappi is still better.
Scheme a defense and adjust on the fly, because if you look at the Patriots offense last year, it was no adjusting on the fly. It was just what you see is what you get. I think Bill needs to just get out of his own way, because a lot of people think he's losing his coaching acumen. He's really not. He's just too much of a
I think he's too involved, dude. I think he's too involved with personnel.
That too. That's why Ziegler left.
Which hurts him, dude. I think that's killing him. But I think the Patriots, they can be good, and they can definitely be better. The problem is they play in a tough division. You know what I mean? They play in a division that might have Aaron Rodgers next year.
Yep.
Very well could have Aaron Rodgers, which changes a lot of shit.
Yeah, they're not. Aaron Rodgers, yeah. They probably won't win a Super Bowl in the next decade for sure. They won't.
And go ahead, Ben. Go ahead.
I was just going to move to another team, so go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, like, you know, even the Bills, dude. Like, the Bills were a team that was Super Bowl favorites last year. Like, they haven't done anything to really improve their team this year. They're really going to rely on the draft, but just, like, if a team gets Aaron Rodgers, that sets them back hella, dude.
Yep.
You know, that hurts a team like the Bills, because now you have a team in the Jets who beat the Bills last year with way lesser quarterback play, and now you get Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. And they're going to have Alan Lazard. He's going to help those young guys come along even more. Yeah, man, the Jets when it's announced and it's through, when the Jets get Rodgers, don't be surprised if they not be one of the betting favorites to win the Super Bowl.
All right, let's move to a different, the complete opposite, more so of a crap division this year. I don't know, crap division. You got two of the best QBs there, but one of the best QBs there. The AFC South, and you've got Carolina coming in, who has the number 1 overall pick. They picked up Andy Dalton to be a backup, maybe even third, because who's there?
Matt Corral.
Matt Corral, thank you. And then you bring in Miles Sanders and Adam Thielen. Do you think this offense does anything this year if they're taking the number 1 QB overall?
They're going to be a lot better. I think they might challenge for the division, honestly, because I don't think Derek Carr makes the Saints that much better. We've seen him in Oakland for how long?
Just having Frank Reich, I think, improves the
Frank Reich is going to improve the
Panthers.
offense a lot. Their defense is what, top 10 basically, and it's just another year they get to grow together, be better together.
Yeah.
We got this too. We probably got to take this team serious, man, because last year they should have won a division if it wasn't for a couple shitty calls against who, old Uncle Tom. But
Yep.
let me not call him that. Let me call him Tom Brady. Yeah. So I think the Panthers definitely, if you want to put in the futures on the Panthers and win this division, you probably get some good odds right about now.
But I still can't believe TCU just covered.
Yeah, that's crazy.
If anybody had TCU plus 4.5, please send me the lottery numbers for this week. Because you are the luckiest motherfucker in the planet. That is just insane. Sorry, I didn't mean to change the subject, but Ben, that is the craziest shit I've seen all week. I've seen a lot of crazy shit this weekend. That tops the list, dude.
That's
that is like the craziest shit.
A 23-point lead, 23-point lead the second half.
Jordan, are you okay with the Cardinals not doing anything?
I think it speaks volumes as to where they're going.
Yep.
I think they're going towards a total rebuild, which means I think that Kyler Murray is a lame duck quarterback. He will probably be cut in the next year or two, unless he balls out. And if he balls out, then the Cardinals are going to be good. But if he doesn't, I think he's gone.
You think oh my God, why can't I think you're a wide receiver? There's
Hopkins
around, D-Hop.
Yeah, I think he's gonna get traded. I just think it's a matter of draft compensation. I think they're looking for a first round pick. I don't know if teams are willing to give up a first round pick. So I think we'll see him get traded closer to the draft, and probably he might get traded the day of the draft.
Yeah,
because I just think it's all about draft compensation right now. They're not willing to part with him just for a second round pick. I can tell you that right now. They'll gladly hang on to him for that.
Yeah.
But
are you happy with Broncos?
Oh, outside of signing a revolving door, which is sad to say, he might be an upgrade for us at right tackle, because our right tackle last year could not stay healthy. At least McGlinchey is going to be available for you.
Yeah.
Irv's just ready to finish in last place. He's ready.
Other than that, I'm good. My Broncos not finishing last place. You're a Cardinals fan. Stay in your lane.
We got the Rams in our division now, so we definitely not finishing last.
I think we're gonna be all right. We just gotta. Sean Payton got to come in and run his program. I think we'll be way more successful than we was year one. I think Russ will look like a totally different QB in his offense. If our weapons stay healthy, which is a big if, I think we'll look like a totally different team next year.
San Francisco signing Javon Hargrave. Did that surprise you?
Nah, but it's a good signing.
It kind of surprised me because I didn't think y'all needed more defensive line help, but man,
well,
I don't like giving y'all credit, but I just got to, because they running a tight ship over there, and yeah, it looks like we got to deal with the Niners probably making another Super Bowl run, because
with Sam Darnold as their starting quarterback.
What's that?
With Sam Darnold as the starting quarterback.
Darnold is not going to be the starting quarterback.
Telling you right now, bro, he might not be your starter to start the season, but he's gonna end the season as the starter.
Damn, because y'all got Kinlaw, y'all got Hargrave, y'all got Bosa.
Nah, they let Kinlaw walk, didn't they?
Yeah, Kinlaw's gone.
That's why they signed Hargrave.
Shit, well, let Kinlaw come to Denver. But shit don't matter, man. Y'all always end up somewhere 8-9 deep at, and then you're gonna have Drake Jackson in his second year.
Yep.
Oh man, I can't stand the Niners.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
But yeah, Niners, all they need is a healthy QB, and they making another Super Bowl run.
Jimmy G going to Vegas.
Oh, he fits right in with that town.
Yeah, he's gonna be a bunny for life.
24/7.
I just think it's a good fit for the Raiders, to be honest.
Yeah, he loves the escorts. He loves the porn stars. There's plenty of them in Vegas. Do you think Jimmy G?
But is it that much better than Derek Carr?
Yeah, because
not really.
It is because Jimmy G allows himself to be coached. Derek Carr did not. which I think
That too,
is
plus
the
he's a
biggest
better
upgrade.
game manager than Derek Carr. See, thing about Jimmy G is he's not going to win you the game, but he's not going to lose you the game.
Yep.
But you have a better chance at winning the game with him, especially if you have a lead. But if the team goes up a touchdown, 10 points, you could pack it up with Jimmy G because he ain't good from coming from behind.
No, he's definitely not. But the biggest problem that the Raiders had with Derek Carr was that he wasn't open to constructive criticism.
No, look at him. He's a dude that cries on the field. So what do you expect?
I mean, I don't know what to expect, but I'm just saying, like, the coaching staff was just not, they weren't open to that. Like, they weren't willing, like, he wasn't willing to work with them. They weren't, like, if you're not willing to be coached, dude, it's tough to coach.
So that mean that contract that he got came straight from Mark Davis then?
For sure. And then now where does he sign? With the Saints, with the head coach that he had before. So he's going to regress into that same shit that he just had. Like, he's not open to constructive criticism. So now he's going to a coach that he had before who probably was like, hey, sign here and I'll let you do whatever the fuck you want. Like, I'm not going to fucking openly criticize you and shit. Like, it's a recipe for disaster, which is why when you said that the Panthers are probably in play for the division, or the Falcons for that matter, I think those are two solid bets, dude. I don't think the Saints are for real. And I think there's a reason why Derek Carr went there, dude.
I mean, Tampa Bay did get the number 1 overall pick, a QB who was picked number 1 overall. Let's be real about that.
Who?
Baker.
Oh, I mean, that's not a bad signing, dude.
But it's no Tom Brady.
He looked decent on the Rams last year. You know,
Yeah,
it just goes to show you sometimes you need coaching. Same shit with Sam Darnold. So it'll be interesting. But yeah, dude, like that story that came out on SI about Derek Carr, dude, just like it opened eyes and it made so much fucking sense. It's like, bro, no one wants to deal with, like, talk about a diva, dude. Derek Carr's a fucking diva. A dude that doesn't want to be coached. Afraid of constructive criticism. Like, those are the worst people to work with. And y'all both know that. Anyone that's afraid of constructive criticism, that's a tough human being to fucking to get along with, dude. It's tough. And nobody likes constructive criticism, you know what I mean? Like, nobody likes to be told, like, hey, you should do this better, or you can do this better. But at the end of the day, it's like, if it benefits you, you should probably listen. You know what I mean? He was not willing to listen. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get to some best bets.
Let's go, y'all.
What do we got for tomorrow, fellas?
Give me well, y'all go first. I'm gonna look at mine right now.
All right, so I'm going to start with Japan minus 2.5.
All right.
On the run line. And I'm also going to do a hockey parlay. I think you can easily go with, I mean,
Dallas Stars.
no, Dallas isn't playing tomorrow. I thought about it. I think you can go, and again, this is going to have to be parlayed because you're not going to get good value out of it. But I would go with the Florida Panthers money line at minus 190, and then the Edmonton Oilers over the Sharks at minus 335. I would take the Avalanche, but the Blackhawk they win games that they shouldn't win. So that definitely is something to worry about there.
Oh man. What do you like,
I'm
Irv?
also okay with that.
I'm gonna go get best bets for sure. For me, both of them gonna be from the high world of hockey. I'm going against Ben. I'm taking the Avalanche puck line minus 1.5 because money line is like minus 455.
And it's not that that's not a bad bet. I'm just saying that I'm worried that the Blackhawks will win a game that they're not supposed to win. That's why I'm staying away from that game.
Yeah, but they've been slumping though. So, and give me the Oilers at home. They're riding a little hot streak. They're playing y'all beloved San Jose Sharks. And y'all need to lose more games. So give me the Oilers minus 1.5 as well. They're averaging like 5-6 goals a game right now.
Sharks love to lose in overtime though.
Let's also not forget that Chicago just beat Boston 6-3 the other day. So,
and they lost. I think they lost 2 in a row since then.
They beat the Blackhawks 1 out of their 2 games this year. So
All right, I like
Blackhawks will beat the Avalanche one of their 2 games.
I like Southern Utah -6 tomorrow against Rice. I just think Southern Utah can just outscore Rice just unbelievably. I just think it's a good matchup for them. And then I also like the Utah Jazz +6.5 at home against the Kings. Utah Jazz are really good at home. The Kings are on their 4th road game in a row. I think this is just a good spot for the Kings here, plus a 6.5. And I also like the under 8.5 Japan and Mexico. Let's get that money, baby. All right, how was those beers, Ben? What was the second one you had? I didn't even get to ask you about it.
So the second one I had was a Discretion Brewing Company. They're out of Santa Cruz. And I went against my normal, it's a wheat beer, I'm not going to get it. And this is called Quartz and Spark. It's a crystal Weizen. So it is a Hefeweizen that is filtered. So it's kind of crystal clear, as they say it, which is very true. It is a very, very clear beer. Coming in at 5%, so it's really easily drinkable. It still does have that kind of wheat taste to it, which isn't the greatest, but it also isn't the worst. So I'm going to give this one a 3.75. It's a good beer. I'd drink it again. I wouldn't go out of my way for it. But because it's a local brewery, Santa Cruz brewery, which I've been to a couple times, it was definitely one I knew I needed to try. And then the Zolupes, the Cerveza Zolupes, which was the golden Mexican style golden ale with mango, lemon peel, and natural flavor. This one was actually really good. It did taste like the Agua Frescas. Man, you get a little bit of Mexico in Salt Lake City, Utah, man. So I'm gonna go 4.4. I'd definitely drink this again. I would get it again. I would try the other flavors if I can ever find it again. And this was at Safeway, which is surprising.
Nice. Still can't get over Gonzaga not covering that 4.5. This shit is gonna fucking haunt me until the next week. This is as bad as the Army cover a couple weeks ago, and American hit that
Utah Valley blown a 23-point lead.
That one too, bro. It's happened to me a few times. That's college basketball, bro. To be honest.
Then they lose the game on a 4-point play. That was horrible.
Yeah, that's college basketball. Beers I had, that murky IPA from Pure, that shit was fire. That shit was absolute fire. I would buy it again. I would drink it again. That shit is like a 4.75 out of 5. The second one I had was a Beechwood Thrill Seeker IPA. This one was good. 7.1%. Where's Beechwood's from? San Diego too, right, Ben?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, Huntington Beach. My bad. This one was solid though. I only had a couple sips of it so far, but it was good. I would drink it again. Probably give this one a 4.25. But that murky IPA, I don't know if that's a hazy IPA or whatever. They're just trying to create their own fucking niche or whatever. Right. That shit was fire though. So I would definitely go look for that Pure Project murky IPA. That shit was fire. The Beechwood, I'm gonna give a 4.25. I'll definitely drink it again. Wasn't as good as a murky IPA though, for sure.
But still, 4.25 and 4.75. Those are
good numbers. Beers. Yeah, absolutely, solid numbers, man.
Shout out to Huntington Beach, home of Tito Ortiz.
Fuck. Fuck that guy, dog. That dude's fucking weird.
I just thought about what y'all said. They said to him when they fought that when they had that press conference.
It's full of really the first thing he thought about too when I said Huntington Beach, fucking Herb probably fucking thought Tito Ortiz on his
Tito
fucking
Ortiz,
mind.
That's the only other thing. Oh, it's a Jim Boy's Tacos in Huntington Beach. Fire.
Whatever the fuck that is.
It's a taco spot.
I feel it though.
Would you trust a taco spot named Jim Boy's though?
Jim Boy's Tacos. It's fire. It used to be one out there by y'all, but it got closed down.
Damn, that's crazy. All right, fellas. Awesome show as always. In the midst of the Gonzaga game with one of the worst beats of all time, if you had Gonzaga, or one of the greatest covers of all time if you had TCU.
You know who Jordan had tonight.
Yeah, I also had Gonzaga team total, so I'm not that mad. And I also had Gonzaga live money line at -117, so that covered. So I'm not too upset, but I mean, dude, that's one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my life, dude. 0.7 seconds, they rolled the ball all the way down the court. Nobody on Gonzaga bothered to pick it up. TCU just picks it up and flicks it, and it goes in the fucking net, dude.
Yep.
It's just sometimes the world is against you, and that's one of those times. But usually when that happens, it means you're gonna go on a fucking heater, dude.
Yep.
So hopefully that happens coming up, because I mean it can't get worse than that, dude. You can't just, the bad luck just cannot continue. With that being said, make sure to gamble responsibly. All right, do not risk more than you're willing to lose, more than you can lose. Call 1-800-GAMBLER if you have a gambling addiction or need some help. You can also message me on Twitter at JordanRulesTSP. I could talk you through it. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to see. I saw some people on Twitter this weekend just look like they're gonna commit suicide and shit. And like, that ain't good, bro. Especially when you're betting on kids in college who can't make free throws. You gotta keep that shit in mind. So, thank you for joining us. I'm sorry to end on a down note, but
Serious.
I do want to just, we gotta let people know, be responsible, man.
No, absolutely.
Be responsible, and thank you for tapping in with us. We'll be back on Tuesday night to do our final MLB season preview. We'll probably also be talking about the WBC final coming up against USA and the winner of Japan-Mexico tomorrow. So everybody have a great Monday. Let's get this money as always. Let's have a great Monday, man. We love y'all. Thank you. Peace.
Later.